Hello. Wait, I don't need this today. Heck yeah.
Where's your hat, Sam?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, where's your
Ready?
hat?
Are you ready? Wait,
Yes!
which
Oh
way's
my
the front?
God!
Which
I
way's-
love it
Which
already.
way's the front?
I
Well, I gotta tie it, but I'll work on that later.
am so jealous.
So
That's
the
beautiful.
hat has to match the pineapples,
Of
and
course.
I'm ready. Nealay's in his cowboy hat. This is inspired by Nealay, because Nealay is known
I
for
also just
his.
asked you to wear one.
You did. I had to go find this and steal it from a roommate. And we've got Rachel with us too.
The beautiful kitty cat.
Thank you.
Meow.
I made
So-
these in 5 seconds.
Show us. Oh my goodness.
No, they're really bad. I'm not going to take them off. The wire is still sharp on the ends.
Oh gosh. Well, I thought they ended up really cute.
Thank you.
It's very creative that you said, I'm making my Halloween costume right now.
Well, I was like, I could wear my cloak, and then I was like, oh, then I'd have to like figure out makeup, and I was like, oh, I could do cat ears. That would be sweet.
Heck yeah. So today, Neelay's joining to show us something new we haven't done as a Sam's Beauty Shop class before, which is designing with SilverSilk chain. Nealay just so happens to run the SilverSilk and More company by himself, by the way. I don't know how he does it. With a little
By
help
yourself?
of Sarah. Right,
Mhm.
isn't that great? And he has a full-time job. So, he's just, I don't understand. And
It's a crazy world. What can I say? Yeah. So I'll go ahead and just give myself an intro if that's
Yeah.
cool.
Sure. I'm also happy to talk about you more if you don't like to talk about you. But
I like talking about SilverSilk. I don't like talking about myself though.
great.
But
Yeah. So I've known Nealay for many months now, and he sent me over like this lovely bag of SilverSilk, and I haven't used it yet. So I'm so excited for this class today because it is finally the time that I will get.
I feel like
what's
it's been
happening.
a long time coming, hasn't it? It's just like we just
Yes.
needed to get it on the calendar and like make a date happen.
Yes. So Nealay is going to show us the 101 of using SilverSilk. It's going to show us some possibilities of Nealay's been an amazing designer for years now. Nealay's a
I'm almost as
published-
old as dirt, so.
Nealay's
I know I don't look
like
it.
so young.
No
Nealay's
way.
a published author.
Like
with his
books?
jewelry designs.
Oh,
yeah.
I've written 2 books with Kalmbach, and then I did some self-publishing thereafter just to kind of keep the content going. But
That's awesome.
my journey into jewelry making started in high school. That was like early 00s. But I think my real like introduction to the craft industry started whenever I probably published and released that first book. Is whenever it's, my name sort of really got out there. I was doing some stuff with magazines before then, trying to get published and stuff. And Kalmbach had Bead and Button at that time too, so I wrote some articles at that time, and I was just doing a lot of crafting and stuff at a young age, as all of us probably all have. But for me, it was a little bit more. I wanted more out of it in a way, and so I just started to seek more of these opportunities to kind of get my name out there as I could. It was amazing that I got to work with Kalmbach and to put out a book, and then use Softflex wire, which I didn't even know was a brand. I didn't know about brands at that time. I was just kind of using stuff that I wanted to, and then I picked up some wire, as it happens to be Softflex wire. But I did some bead weaving projects and made a 10-piece collection, which each design had 3 separate pieces in it, so it was like a total of 30 pieces actually. But once that happened, my relationship with Softflex kind of blossomed, and they were able to help get my name out there even further. And
oh wow,
I was able to go on JTV with them and just do all these other opportunities that I wouldn't have available just as myself. So down the road, I met SilverSilk on JTV actually. It was ran at that time by a lady named Nina. And she was so sweet. She left us samples, but both myself and Sarah. And I did something with the samples, and I created my second book out of it. And then Sarah still probably has her samples somewhere in some closet that has yet to be dusted off and done something with. But she admits this. So yeah, down the road, I got to work more and more with them on different projects, and they were ready to retire and asked if I wanted to take over. And so that acquisition happened, and then took over manufacturing thereafter.
And when Nealay says manufacturing, it means he has basically taught himself how to use this crazy complicated wire weaving machine that I don't even understand how you know.
So let me start with the basics for those of us that are joining out there that probably have no idea what I'm talking about. I have a knitted wire jewelry chain that's called SilverSilk. It is a type of chain that's using wire that's as thin as human hair that's knitted into a round sleeve, and you can stuff that round sleeve with various things to create different types of chains. So one of my most popular chains is called Captor Chain, which has a ball chain core that has a knitted sleeve around it. I liked the spotlight for a second, though. That was cute.
I also was like, wait, what if he feels alone?
And then I've got several other types of lines, and I think I could show you a little bit down the road once we talk more about it, of SilverSilk specifically. But I guess as Sam put it, I was able to learn how to use and navigate the machine enough to create the type of jewelry chain that I wanted. The SilverSilk isn't the same brand as it used to be. It has evolved quite a bit since I've taken it over. But for me, it's more about listening to what the customer and my friends wanted out of the chain, and to see like if I could make that happen for them, and still using my innate artistic and design sensibility to add whatever I could to it. So I know I sent some samples out to you guys of. It might have been the Capture Pearlescent chain. I can't even remember what I sent you guys.
I got the Capture chain.
I've got 3 colors of Capture chain here that are stunning. Your color mixes are really beautiful.
Yeah, obsessed. I'm like, what did they study?
These are the ones I
got. That's crazy because I got completely different ones. I got like this gorgeous almost I don't know what this color green is called, but I'm obsessed with it. And then I got this
very Rachel.
This this one is definitely they're both very sparkle grunge, which is my style. This one's like the most beautiful blue with the silver capture chain in it. I don't know if you can see that.
I love that term, sparkle grunge. I'm going to use
Sam came up with it.
Thank you. Thank you for the
love
credit.
that. That's such a great description.
And then I got a gold one and a copper one with a gunmetal ball chain in it, which is really cool.
Oh my gosh.
But the green and the blue are so my vibe. It's not even funny. They're all my vibe, but the green and the blue, so my vibe.
You kind of nailed it, Nealay.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, did they study?
Did he study I think it was Storm.
I did study you a little bit. I watched a couple of your YouTube videos before. I was like, I need to study.
Yeah, also.
No, I'm delighted that you love the colors. That was one of the things that didn't exist prior to when I took it over, was the vast color lines, and that was something that I wanted to bring back to the extreme, and then to experiment beyond that. So I'm delighted that those 2 colors, I think, are 2 of the popular ones within the collection, within the Captor Chain family as well. So I think it's going to translate. I can't wait to see what you do with it, really.
Me neither. I was going to do something, and then I was like, I want to save it.
I know. I want to see what you gravitate towards, because I sent Nealay over some beads from the shop, and I'm very curious to see. And eventually we'll get there, if he's gonna kind of make on the fly.
I do. I got them just like you got, and Rachel, you mentioned this earlier. Sam's Mojo box. Like,
Oh yeah.
for the Bead a Lot
although
challenge.
we got it like what 10 minutes before it started or something crazy.
I got mine
like
exactly
a
5
month
minutes.
before when I
Yeah.
did it. I had to hide it from myself. I kept looking at it like, what's in that box? Why is it so big?
And heavy. It was heavy too.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
glad-
heavy.
Because those hammers and those stamps.
I'm glad that the beads arrived today for Nealay to use today. And I feel like it helped to kind of start to visualize some of what you're talking about. So I'm going to add your overhead, Nealay, so we can kind of start to
Sure.
see a little bit what you're kind of what these two different product lines you're talking about, and just like see what SilverSilk is.
I can
So I'm
give
far
you
too
a
large.
quick
There we go.
tour. Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, and the logo's
oh.
right on your face, Sam, so it works perfect.
It's like a nice teardrop.
There.
There we go. You can change that on
Better.
the
It's
fly.
like
That's
you're
amazing.
wearing it.
Yeah, I'll just put there we go.
How rude.
So this is a little rainbow pendant that I did with the pearlesque chains, which is similar to capture chain, but it has a holographic rainbow tinsel that's been woven over the ball chain. So it's a three layer chain essentially. It's got the ball chain core. In this case, if we're talking about silver, it's a silver ball chain, and then it's got a holographic tinsel that's been woven over that, and then over that is metal of the wire. So you get this really, and it's a little hard to see on camera, which I've always said that, but versus what real life does for it. But it does add a lot of sparkle to the chain. As you can see kind of right there, this one's my hollow mesh, but it has that rainbow tinsel woven within it as well.
Oh wow.
So it gets a little sparkle, a little glamour to it. When if you decide that your design needs it. But I also have, this was the pearlesque chain that I was talking about. That's a really unique color. You can experiment and I don't know, just come up with all kinds of combinations. At least I have with the machine, because I'm able to use different color tinsels with the wires. And so this one is actually a silver ball chain that has a very bright blue holographic tinsel, and then knitted over both of those things is a darker wire. So you get this really like liquidy blue color that just is a gorgeous, I think, a very high class chain. I call it waterfall because that's what it reminds me of.
Nealay, that color is stunning. Oh my god.
It's a little bit similar to
like the London,
to the one I got, but it's a little brighter.
So
pretty. Yeah, and it might have been what's funny is, like, depending on what you use, it really does determine. It's like chemistry. It kind of really determines the outcome of the whole thing. So if you're using a brighter colored ball chain, it's going to enhance those rainbow tinsel colors because that white is bouncing off of it. And then when you put a darker color over both of those bright colors, it really does tone it back down, and you get this really, like, just unbelievable chain. Conversely, if you're using gold, you're going to get a warmer tone with your holographic tinsels. So it's so weird. I'd never thought of it as that, but it's so much fun to just, like, see what the different combinations can.
That is fun. I love playing with color. That sounds like so much fun.
It is. I've discovered my love of mechanical machines, I think, just trying to figure out
mechanical machines. I love it.
So yeah, and then I've got a flat mesh, and this one's my amethyst flat mesh that I have and love. And then I mentioned hollow mesh. This one doesn't have the rainbow tinsel in it. And then, just your run-of-the-mill, but equally fun to use capture chain, which is what I'm going to be using for some of my projects tonight. And my packaging, as you can see, kind of changes. I'm still kind of going through this phase of going out through the stickers and into some more luxurious packaging as we progress over time. But anyways, those are the 5 like big lines that I have of SilverSilk. They all come in different colors. I couldn't even tell you how many I have. I think I've got like 26 of the capture chain, and then it kind of works backwards from there. quite a
Wow,
collection.
that's a lot of like
Awesome.
just
Yeah.
product options. Is this why you often say like you're releasing a new color in something? It's because you're not always carrying necessarily all the colors in every product line at the same time, because you're kind of creating colors more in like batches? Is that more how you operate?
Kind of. So it's a weird like mix that I do. I do have a standardized colored set that I have to keep in my inventory, and that's purely just because it's colors that, you know, customers want to purchase or want to keep up with. And then also where I enjoy playing is my mystery kits and my workshops. So here's where I really get to experiment and say, come join me in this class. Not only am I teaching it, but you can get a really unique type of chain from this whole event that I'm doing.
Like it's almost like an exclusive type, like
yeah, kind of.
you
Because
won't
once
get
I run
elsewhere.
that color, it's like a little like it's either, oh, this was a fun color, like I'll bring it back again in a year or two, or it's like, oh, I really have to have that color now forever permanently. I'm going to do it. But I mean, I'm still like figuring out what those colors are. So for now, it's just really an exclusive, like, you know, I'm only making this many units for this mystery kit. Grab this color while you can. It's not going to exist after that.
Oh, that's really cool. All right, let's
Maybe
jump
one
in.
day
Go
we
ahead,
could put
Rachel.
it in the bead box.
I know, I wish. It might take up the entire budget of the bead box, but I would love that.
I
You could give them like a little
would give
piece
you a
for
deal,
earrings.
and I would support everything that you want to do, Sam. Everything.
Let's run the world. All right, let's jump in. And I want to see some of this magic in action, Nealay.
Okay.
Yes.
So you sent me some delicious, gorgeous beads, and let's see. This one is the olive serpentine, smooth round 10 millimeters. Absolutely beautiful. I was just so excited that you sent green because it's like my spirit color. I'm wearing green.
I asked Nealay, I said, what color? She said, green and teal. I said, all right, I could do that.
Done.
That's like so Sam's vibe too. So
yeah.
Beautiful things. This was a strand that you had mentioned, although we don't know quite what stone it is.
Yeah, this is, if someone knows the stone, I got this in a closeout box, and there's a bunch more coming up in the shop this week. Nealay's the first one to have it. And it's like, it's so weird because it's a stone I've like used before, and I literally can't name it.
I love it.
So it's our beautiful mystery stone today that Nealay's gonna come to life.
I'm gonna use a mystery stone tonight. You sent me some other stuff that I kind of want to quickly just pan over here. But these are some gorgeous check glass pumpkins in teal. These would be great wire wrapped, especially today because it is close to Halloween. We are in costume. And I don't know, I might do something with that later. I love these little guys.
And there's no pressure to use everything, Nealay. I just wanted to give you like some options in front of you in the color palette. So I sent Nealay 2 gemstone strands and then a bunch of other check goodies.
Well, you, sir, hit the nail on the head with the color palette. That's for sure. Look at all this delicious, yummy, yummy goodness.
Beautiful. Oh, you sent him some of the vintage. I love those. I keep, whenever you put them on sale, I just buy more of them, even though I haven't used them yet.
I love, these are my favorite. I mean, I love these daggers too.
Yeah.
But these, I'm imagining all kinds of things. Okay, so focus, guys. I gotta get my designer hat on. All right. So I have this hematite capture chain, and I was like, you know, my wardrobe needs some more pizzazz, so I'm going to make something for myself.
And someone had asked, the capture chain comes with the ball in it, the ball chain in it.
Yes, absolutely. As a 3-foot spool, it comes in 3-foot, 6-foot, and 25-foot. So I have the 3 different options. And then I had some end caps because my end caps are custom made for my chain.
Gorgeous.
Oh, and I guess I was going to show this example too. Sam, this isn't, I don't know if you have these beads in your shop, but I think this would be an extravagant piece for someone out there to recreate But
Is that a
That's funny.
multi-strand piece?
it's sort of a multi-strand. I have it kind of the wire going into a singular bead here, and then I did these fake leather knots that I was actually going to show you maybe if we have time today how to do those. And then I just attached it to some chain. So I was like, you know, simple and easy is fun. It is fashionable, and that's what I'm going to do tonight.
I like when Nealay disappears behind the cowboy hat.
Did you see my cowboy hat has capture chain on it?
Oh.
Incredible.
So I got to send out Sam some extra capture chain to put on his cowboy hat.
I wish this was mine.
Oh wait, it's not yours, is it? We gotta buy you one.
We can still make it better, Nealay.
Okay, so I gotta focus, guys. We've got this customized single strand end cap, and it comes in not only the singles but doubles and triple actually, and these are custom made for SilverSilk. Not only does it have my imprint on it, the SS, it's got little teeth inside of the end cap so that you can clip your wire or your chain. And what I do is I like to kind of shake off the chain at the end. There's always some little residual wire pieces. I call them wire fuzzies. I've never come up with a better term, I think, than wire fuzzies. And these little fuzzies tend to get in the way of crimping. So you can see I just kind of pulled one out there. And did I send you guys some findings, by the way? Please tell me that I did.
You sent me those.
You did. They're beautiful.
Oh, thank goodness.
I got
future me thanks past me for doing that. Because sometimes I forget.
Nealay, you're very on it, like at all moments.
I'm trying to be more diligent these days, but I do forget stuff. So the idea here is that you can push the end cap right over the capture chain. And once you've done that, you can grab yourself a pair of wide nose pliers. And I use Weber's. I don't know if you guys have a brand that you love personally. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, I don't have a brand I love. I'm taking suggestions.
I love Weber's. They have these great wide nose pliers that are about 6 millimeters across, and then just come down as far as where the handles are, about an inch, give or take. And I coated mine with Tool Magic, and what it does is that I can grip my finding because they're pretty slick. I mean, if you try to use nylon jaw pliers, which I have in the past, they will go flinging across the room, and they have before.
I was curious about that, of why you
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Dipping them.
Yeah, so there's a good grip to these because it is like a silicone-esque based material. But also, they can scratch if you use just like your regular standard chain nose pliers, on it. If you squeeze too hard, it could leave a mark or nick within your end cap. So I'm just like, kind of watching out for those things. And so the Tool Magic definitely helps to mask all of that and just give yourself a nice, like, smooth crimp. And that's pretty much it. You just press down and you're good to go.
Is it that easy, or do you just make that look really easy?
I don't know. You guys try. You have some findings.
I know, but I don't. All I got are nylon jaw pliers, so I'll just.
Oh, okay. You could still do them. You just have to kind of like not hold it in a way that will like fling it across the room.
Yeah.
So I would just put my thumb and my forefinger, like my first finger there, like, and just kind of squeeze it and do it long ways like this instead of like this. So really putting it inside of the pliers.
I wonder if you like I'm gonna try putting my bead mat around it.
Yeah, no, I've done like my shirt before whenever I didn't have my tools on hand, or before I didn't know about Tool Magic, which
just use a shirt. I love that.
I used whatever fabric I had.
So when if I'm grabbing my capture chain Nealay, I saw you had trimmed off a little bit before you then used it. Do I need to do that, or
You don't have to. My wire, I think I used this chain on a different necklace before, and I might have ripped it off of one of the end caps. So my chain was marred on one end, so I just trimmed off that end. But you just really just want a nice clean cut.
Okay.
And if a little bit of that ball chain sticks out, what you can do is actually condition the chain itself. So for example, if this is happening to your chain, what I do is I just kind of run my fingers through the chain there and then kind of just pinch the end and it gets rid of it. The chain wants to be like elastic. The way that it's knit, it wants to compress whenever it's like wound up into a spool. So whenever you start to like loosen it and you start to relax it and stuff, you kind of have to, massage the chain out a little bit to get it to like be accurate again.
It looks like we're making sausages.
Yes. Just make sausages with your chain and you will have an amazing, delicious chain ready to go. And then you just
what a beautiful sun-dried tomato.
Like the focaccia bread you made. I
Wasn't
ate
it
that
so
on the
good?
plane on the way back. It was the best thing ever. It saved me.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you took all of the bread also on the plane with you.
Yeah, I'm not above bread. I'll eat it all day.
Canned food all day, every day. Alrighty. So
I haven't been checking anyone's comments or questions or anything. I know Joan's been probably in this whole thing.
We've got Joan and Ginger here, not to worry.
We gotta give Joan Dice a shot.
Joan is cracking me up. So if you see me laughing, that's probably why.
Anna Marie Stewart says, I love Wubbers in all caps.
She also said they have little mini ones, and I don't know.
Yes,
at the beginning of our classes, I was using my mini pliers all the time. But they're so old that they have no spring left. So.
Oh gosh. Yeah, time for an upgrade, sister. Like we gotta.
They're probably like 15 years old.
Oh my. Well, I'm gonna have these tools for that long. That's the way I mean, because I'm not someone that moves around frequently, but there are two companies, Xuron and Wubbers, that I cannot go on with life without them. They're just super.
You've got some nice tool taste, Nealay.
Bit of a tool snob.
The Xuron are not that expensive though.
They're not?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
No, they're really not. My favorite Xuron crimpers are these green-handled ones. And they're I think they're less than like $15 or $20.
Those are interesting. Those are crimpers?
Yeah, they're crimpers. They have a very narrow tapered end here. But this is also great because, let me get another finding out and I'll show you another trick. Sometimes the findings are not spread apart enough for the chain to go in. So I use my Xuron crimpers to go in and widen that nose just a little bit for that crimp.
Oh.
And that helps the crimping process so much easier. So I love these, not only for crimping, but because they have such a tapered nose. It's fantastic.
Well, I already love the design that's shaping up, Nealay, because this is something I noticed with your design for the Bead-A-Lon challenge, is that you play off shape, because your whole Bead-A-Lon challenge was hoop based, and I already see you playing off shape again, and it's so cool to see.
I had this large brass ring that I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with this. Like, I just have it in my inventory for I think like 15 years now, and then Sam sent me these amazing beads, and I was like, it's been here all this time for this. So I finally, I'm bringing it out for you, Sam.
Oh my goodness, I'm so honored.
I see some jump rings, I think they're behind me, and I've got a blanket on me currently. The jump rings from this. Okay.
Rachel, you having ideas for your?
I'm still in the mode of like I don't want to use it. I want to look at it. But I did
Believe
put
it or
the
not,
end
that's
cap
most
on
of my
it.
customer base.
I put the end cap on it, so I've got to figure out. I was actually wondering, is it possible? How would you go about if you wanted to do like 2 strands? How would you go about doing like a strand of the SilverSilk and then a strand of like soft flex?
That is a good question. I think I can give you an example, but I have to go dig it out, and it's in a box that's just over there actually. But I could show you a project that I did. What I did was essentially, if I'm just talking it through, I just attached my single strand end cap to a jump ring, and then I just crimped onto the same jump ring with a strung design. That kind of makes sense. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done that before.
A bunch of opals that have been sitting on my table because I was using them earlier, and I was like, what if I put these? I want to use them. Baby opals. Opals.
Oh. I do love opals.
My lighter, clearer opals I got from Sam. So.
Oh, I love that idea. So you want to just basically do a strand of opals and then a strand of SilverSilk.
Maybe not a whole strand of opals. It's a little bit. Then we're just getting crazy.
I was going to say, damn, where are you wearing that? To like a wedding or something?
Well, a lot of my jewelry I make to sell, so it has to be approachable.
Oh gosh, that's like so ritzy. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm a very extra person.
Good. I'm in the right company. I
recently did a design with what was in that? It was pearls, the little tiny diamonds you have, Sam, and Larimer.
Oh my god, I don't think I saw this.
Yeah. So I was like, well, and then I was like, we're already getting crazy. So I put a Venetian glass focal on it and called it a day.
Wow.
Have you guys heard of dark steel annealed wire before?
No.
No.
So it's solid steel?
It's basically, it is steel, yes. And it has some scaling on it, and so I never clean it because I feel like my hands are dirty all the time anyway. But it has it's super soft, and it does have like a blackish tone to it. This one's 26 gauge, but I was gonna do a quick little like Sarah Lovecraft head pin with it.
do we all as Sarah, oh my gosh, we all are now making
we're all making Sarah's knotted head pin.
Can everyone please collectively
She
yell
just turned me onto it.
Knotted head pin alert. Where's Wanda when you need
I actually used it again yesterday, so she's a genius. I've got to come up with like my own head pin now.
Yeah. Where's the Rachel Malice head
Well,
pin?
I do like the like a little tuck a lot, but that I feel like is not a very complicated design. So
there's got to be another. We got to come up with more head pins. I mean, there's spirals. You can do any shape as a head pin.
Yeah, I used to do when I first started. I did a lot of spirals, like a lot of spirals, to the point where like I never do them anymore. Yeah, everything was spirals. Everything was spirals. Yeah, a little bit.
Alrighty, Nealay is moving along with his knotted head pin as his base.
I am with the mystery stone, and I just thought I'd do like a quick little wire wrap action, and I think I'm gonna do like an ugly wire wrap, not a pretty one.
We prefer ugly wire wraps at Sam's Shop. The
I love
messier, the
ugly
better.
wire wrap.
Rachel Mouse likes to say, "Close your eyes," and then it'll be the proper messy wrap.
Yes. If you're having trouble making a messy wrap, don't look at it while you're doing it. Keep your pliers in the way so you don't wrap over the loop, and then.
And I apologize for the I literally like am sitting basically in the dark. Well, I have my overhead light. Oh, how much wine have I drunk now? But Oklahoma gets dark pretty quick now. So, I'm going to connect these all together and then have it like off of this thing, and then that's how I'm going to wear it. And so I'm so excited about it. I just have to do it. So I think I'm going to do a wire wrap loop on each end here. I have to make sure that I connect it before I
finish your loop.
Yes. So
the beaters first.
Have you done that before?
Have I ever done that before? I only do that.
Oh, we have so many classes where I went, oh no. Or Sam went, oh no. I'm pretty sure that's why Sam stopped beating along with me for so long.
See, okay, everyone, we're gonna collectively be with Nealay. He's made his first loop, so now we're not gonna let him start wrapping that next loop until he's connected that bottom piece.
Yeah, just make sure you yell stop at the right point. Okay, there we go. 26 gauge, by the way, especially even for steel wire, it is very thin. So I think if I had to go back and do this back in time, I probably would have picked 22 gauge.
Yeah, because the holes on those beads aren't tiny either.
Yeah, no, they aren't. That would have fit perfectly through it. And I could have just done simple loops for that fact.
I'm so curious, Nealay, so now we've seen the chain used kind of as a typical chain would be used, but there's more ways because that you use SilverSilk also. And I'm kind of curious how the other ways you use SilverSilk as a design element in your pieces.
I recently. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Because anytime I see one of your designs, I always just feel surprised. Like, wow, that's an amazing way to use it. So I'm kind of curious what your other go-to techniques are for SilverSilk.
Well, that is incredibly sweet for you to say. I think I just end up using it as sort of a textile rather than thinking about it as just a chain for a necklace. And yes, this is like the easiest way to use it, absolutely, and a good, I would even say a gateway into the land of SilverSilk. I just did a class with Cassandra Spicer recently.
I caught part of that. I was gonna say I watched the class when she was like sewing it.
Yeah, we actually sewed 3 strands together and then used a bead mix to like sew on top of it, essentially. So
I love that.
Oh my god, I'm speechless. Oh my gosh.
It was so easy to do too. It was just the way that she taught it and everything was fantastic.
Wow.
But
yeah, you have a whole like archive on YouTube of projects, right?
I do. I've been working diligently to get a video library going on YouTube, and the handle for that is SilverSilk and More, just like the company name. But most folks, I think, still to this point, are still like new to the brand and to the product. So for me, and part of where my brand is aligned is towards education. So I'm trying to teach people more and more what to do with it, more so than just selling SilverSilk. I'm actually not a good salesman. I'm taking this out because it's hurting my lighting. My brand is like, I think what I've always been about is more of like how to use products, how to use the educational portion of it, but how to use the beads and the materials in a fun, unique way and be empowered because you have the ability to create. And that's sort of what my mission for SilverSilk has always been.
Yeah.
So
I really admired that, Nealay. That's that you have because when you're putting ideas out there, that's when people get really, really excited. And then when you already have, and folks obviously have the supplies with them, and then when you have that like design inspiration, that's when the excitement starts. So I think it's so awesome that you make that like such a big part of your kind of space in the jewelry world.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like with myself and, you know, designers like you guys, Rachel, Cassandra, whoever it may be, we all have our own unique fashion element or design aesthetic to add to the creative world. But again, that's just sort of where I started in the industry. It's never left for any purpose or reason. But now it's just fun because I have something that I can finally call my own. And, you know, just to use it as not only just as a product, that's cool, but like as a vehicle to teach and to connect with people from a pure selfish standpoint.
I don't think connecting with people is ever selfish.
It's been wonderful during 2020, I think, for me especially, and a lot of folks out there. We were able to just continue our shenanigans virtually.
That's sorry, I choked on my spit. I'm still recovering.
You were so moved by my speech.
I know, I've got tears in my eyes. But I mean, I was. That's what I was going to say, is that Sam and I started doing... I've been a customer of Sam's for many, many years, and he posted in like all of the groups, I want to do live classes, and I was like, well, I mean, I'm going to apply. I don't know if I'm going to get this, but I think in my mind, you were still like a 50-year-old man, Sam, and I was like, I'm never going to get this. And then Sam was like, you're the only one that applied, and I'm like, okay, well, we're going to do this. And it ended up being like definitely like the highlight of my 2020. I don't think I would have had the same year at all had it not been for Sam and the classes and the beading community. Especially, I lived in an area that was not very... I wasn't going outside a lot during the pandemic. So I was like locked up inside, and I had all these beady friends, so it was nice.
Yeah. Oh, Rachel.
I know, I'm like, am I crying because I'm choking still, or
Your mascara's fine, it's fine, don't worry.
they're fake. It's not mascara, they're fake.
So the other day I called Sam's bead shop a pandemic baby. because it kind of is. I mean, yeah, I've been doing the shop. Let me explain. I'll back up for a second.
Sorry. As someone who knows someone that had a pandemic baby, it's extra funny.
Actually, I could say that SilverSilk was mine too, because I acquired the machine, I think around June of 2020.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So about that time, I was like
we
fully...
both gave birth at the same time.
Did we?
No.
Oh my god.
Sort of. Wait. No. I started up the shop in June 2020 again, full time. Actually, literally, it was June. I remember my dad said, "Sam, you're making too much sourdough. Why don't you try doing the bead shop?" And so I picked it back up. I had been doing the shop on and off for years on the side of school, Juilliard, all that, and then my dad was like, "I think you should do the beads again," and he was so right. I did the first sale, and then a couple months later we started doing the classes, and that's when I feel like it really started to become more of like a community feel to it, is when it was just all about sharing, learning, and inspiration, and when we also started to get to know each other a lot more, and that's when it started to feel really special.
What's funny is I think that before the pandemic hit, I was trying to hang out with you, Sam. And then do you remember that? I was like, I'm in New York now too. We should hang out. Yeah. Right. Do you remember? And then we were both so busy, California. And then the pandemic hit.
Right. And then I literally was like across the country.
I did that with my friend. I met a friend through some other friends, and then she was just like persisting on hanging out and like doing stuff together, and I was like, okay. Well, we ended up like a year later going to Sonoma together and just having the best time. So
that was the friend I met.
Yeah.
Okay.
A friendship is forged in, I don't know, the most unusual ways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would have gotten to know Rachel nearly as well without doing the weekly classes. We just got to hang out talking about our
Yeah.
favorite Pixar movies.
Oh, I forgot
It
about
was
that.
great.
Yeah, I saw Cars for the first time in the pandemic.
There's
It was
a handful of
excellent.
Pixar films that I haven't seen yet that have been on my mind.
Oh, you gotta watch all of
Well,
them.
might I
Nealay.
recommend Cars?
Yes, I need to go see
Somebody
that one.
asked what I'm working on, Sam. So
Oh,
I
you
don't
want me
know
to
if
add
you-
your overheads, Rachel?
Sure. I mean, it's not like super exciting. But so what I'm working on is I've got the color I'm obsessed with. I know the name of this color and I can't remember what it is. But so I'm doing a second strand that's going to go with it of rough sapphires and opals.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's what I've got going on here, and they're gonna.
Oh,
go,
love
I think
it. Both from
I'm doing a bracelet. Yeah,
they're both from the
Look at
shop.
those opals shine.
they're so
Y'all, we have
pretty.
like 2 strands of opals left in the shop. I don't know
You
why
have-
someone hasn't
They're
stolen
good.
them.
They're a good deal. There's a lot more on the strand than you think there is because I've been working from this strand all day.
Wow.
I did another project with them earlier, so they were already here.
And Nealay, where are you at with your project?
Let's see. It's kind of. Oh no! Wait, never mind. Let's see. I've got my stones connected. Finally, you guys see that? Here, let me put it on and see where we land. So this is like I like my no clasp designs, and I think I need to untwist my chain here. I forgot to do that. Can you guys see that? There we go.
Wait, let me fix it.
Oh wait, I'm on
One
on my main camera. There we go.
There we go. Ooh. How's that for a fun Friday piece? It also matches your shirt. I love that.
It does. It does. See, this is like, but I'm so glad I got to use that brass ring finally, and then like I just needed like a small
Yes,
statement,
that's the best. When you're like, I was saving it for this exact moment. And then you can turn to your boyfriend and be like, see, I'm not hoarding. I use everything.
See, we all have that problem right now.
And Judy is visiting me and she comes in and she's like, your apartment's so nice. I don't have anywhere to do crafts. And I'm like, what you don't see is that everything in here is crafts. You think that my boyfriend has stuff. He doesn't have anything. He has like 2 shelves. It's all crafts. I'm like, oh, what a lovely trunk. It's full of fabric.
More crafts.
Yes.
Ooh,
All the
Nealay
crafts
has
all the
grabbed a new bead.
I did. I was really like intent on just making myself some more stuff because the one thing that I've not done up to my humble some years, I don't want to give a number out of beading. Like I've not really made stuff for myself before.
I feel like you could put a number out. When you look at me, how many years do you think I've been beading?
I mean, I think you're like 22.
That's hilarious. I love him. Can we keep him?
Are both of you 22? You guys are babies.
No, Rachel's
Sam
older
is.
than me.
I'm 28.
Oh, you're still a baby.
But I've been beading for 18 years. I started when I was 10 years old, so it's been a while.
I just have nice brown skin to keep me young the rest of my years, but I'm actually 35.
Okay.
I can't believe it.
I'm saying it's good skin.
Also, Nealay, I didn't know how tall you were. So when I met Nealay, I was like,
Me?
oh, I had never actually thought about it. And I was like, oh, this is what Nealay looks like in person. Oh my goodness. Nealay's a human.
I thought you were taller than I am.
I am.
Are you like
a little
really
bit?
tall?
Me?
You're
No.
taller over me. I'm kind
I'm
of
like 6
pint
feet.
size. What?
The description of pint size. Nealay and I fought over who was paying for ice cream when the whole group of us went out
Oh, I forgot
for ice
about
cream.
that.
And I lost. I was so bitter. I really tried to get my credit card in that machine, and somehow Nealay had some cat-like reflexes and it was very disappointing.
Well, you can buy my next ice cream when I come out to Sonoma some other time. How's that?
Deal. That was so. For context, Nealay put on this cute little picnic in Sonoma and invited Sarah Ayler from Softlex and Tracy from TierraCast was there.
Actually, Sarah Ayler put it on, and then like,
Oh really?
because I told her that I was going to be there, so I was going to say, hey, let's get together, and then she kind of turned it into this like giant thing.
It was amazing.
It was
I
great.
loved it.
It was so much fun, and we were socially distanced and still managed to like just be together, you know?
Oh, it was so we were just sitting in the park. I was like, this is great. I need more of this. Sarah brought her kids and like an entire watermelon, you know, that she grew.
That she grew. Oh my gosh.
That she grew.
She grew. Her daughters are so adorable. So, and very well behaved. I feel like
so cute.
At least up front, and I don't know, behind the scenes, maybe they're kids, but
they're very
up front,
sweet.
they're very, very mannered and just pleasant and cute. But it was nice to see Tracy. It was great to see and spend time with them, and you and James, also from Softlex Company. So it was a great huddle of people.
Okay, what do you have going here, Nealay?
The comments
I'm thinking.
I am in love with your silkies.
Oh, did someone say something?
They all want you to model the necklace topless.
I'm reading it.
Oh.
I'm seeing all the things. No, so Joan and Ginger. Do you guys know Joan and Ginger, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. They have so I'm doing a workshop at the end of the year, the New Year's Eve Stardust and Sparkles workshop, and besides
is
just
this a SilverSilk event that you're doing? Is this a SilverSilk event you're doing?
Yes.
Cool.
It's my one SilverSilk Eve. Well, I feel like I've done 2 throughout the year, and this is my second one. So this is like the next big one. And I've got limited seats left, so if anyone's interested, now's a good time to sign up.
Go join. Oh my god.
Wait, can you say it again? I'm sorry. My phone disconnected, so I was reconnecting it.
Mine did that too just a second ago, actually, so I had to like wait to sink in.
Oh.
I'm doing an event called Stardust and Sparkles, and I'm doing a shameless plug on the kit.
Yes.
You're doing it in person? What are you doing?
I'm doing this as a Zoom, so you're going to see everything like
candid. I like Stardust and I like Sparkles, so
this is the place for you, friend. No, it's gonna be. I'm doing 5 different designs, and I'm doing the classes via Zoom, so it's going to be very personable. They will be recorded because some of the people that are attending already cannot make the event, but they wanted the kit and they wanted the instructions. So I was like, I'll just record the class, no big deal, and then send you a link later. But I got together with Joan and Ginger, and I was like, what sort of trouble can we get up to?
Oh no, what's happening?
And so our gears started turning, and we decided that they're going to do some video content for the people that are not only attending, but we're going to convert our Silkies Facebook group into a party bus, and we're going to have events throughout that week. For those that cannot make the event, the workshop at the end of the week, because it's on December 31st on New Year's, can still kind of partake and get excitable during that week. So they have some fun stuff planned, and I'm a little nervous and scared, but at the same time, I'm pretty excited.
This sounds like a blast. I love this idea. I love all of it. And that box is beautiful. So I can imagine everything inside that box is even more beautiful.
Thank you. I tried to put as much sparkles and pizzazz into it as I could, and the silkies, it was more of, again, it was a thing that was customer driven, so I kept getting feedback. You need to do something at the end of the year. You need to do something at the end of the year, and I was like, okay, what can I cook up that's different from anything that I've done at this point and still make it fun and different and cool and unique? So I haven't done anything during New Year's, and at this point, I don't have any plans anyway. So I was just going to spend most of the morning and afternoon teaching and connecting with my friends out there. And then, you know, if you do have evening plans, the classes end at 6 p.m. Central Time. So there's plenty of time afterwards to like hop on a party bus or something, a real one.
A real one.
Okay, Nealay, I'm fascinated. I'm so glad you grabbed the Russian. So this olive serpentine that Nealay grabbed is a special serpentine that comes out of Russia that has like these extra like red impurities in it.
Oh.
And I think it's like the most beautiful type of serpentine I've ever seen. So I'm so glad you grabbed it and put it with copper, which is my favorite, because I want to see what you do with it now. I see it's some sort of pendant bar focal potentially coming our way.
If you have a pendant bar coming your way, I'm trying to pick out the wire because I'm wondering what size hole this is. So
it should be about a millimeter or maybe 0.8.
Oh, okay. That's good to know because I'm trying to see what different wires I have of the, and I'm sticking with my dark anneal steel only because, what size gauge is this? That's 22. What is this one? 20. Okay, this one's 20, so that would work better. Only because I have a gunmetal colored ball chain inside of this, so that dark steel annealed wire is going to be a really good complement to it. Let me show you this, Sam. This was the design that I wore on my shirt.
Ooh.
Are those your rough sapphires you've been talking about?
Yes. So I thought I could do the same with your serpentine.
Ooh. Wait, show us this wire technique. This looks fun.
Yeah, and it's clean on the back so that you don't scratch your chest or anything.
It's also really pretty on that side too. I like it's kind of reversible.
Oh, yeah, that's true because you could wear it either direction. I don't know how it's going to work with the round, but I am curious. So what I'm going to do is grab my 20 gauge wire and I'm going to cut roughly about 8 or so inches. And I say cut, but I have my pliers here somewhere. Oh, here they go. Okay. And I'm going to create a wrapped loop on one end and then string all of my beads right over it. So I'm wanting to check and make sure that my bead can go right over it. Yeah, so that's perfect. You mentioned 1 millimeter, so that is perfect.
That fit perfectly. I love that. Oh, and Nealay, I didn't even know this, actively remember this, that the serpentine is actually on sale at the shop right now. We have it in 6 millimeter and 10 millimeter, which is, Nealay's using the 10 millimeter. And it's currently like a few bucks off right now. So I just dropped a link to that in the comments.
Yes, definitely.
Sarah, that was my cat. He came up behind me to demand dinner. I've tried feeding them before the streams, and then they just demand that I play. So it doesn't make a difference what I do. Usually my boyfriend will lock them in the bedroom, but we have guests right now, so I let them roam because I thought they would hide, but now they're comfortable and they're telling me that they're comfortable enough to want to eat.
You know, I would love to have a Maine Coon cat, something that is 20 pounds and just a giant, like, I would just want a giant cat. That's my wishes in life.
Yeah. My parents have a very fuzzy cat, and they're beautiful, but sometimes all the fur. Stop scratching my chair. Sometimes he has to get what's called a sanitary shave. So you have
Heard
to
of
make
that
sure
one.
that
Sanitary shave?
they're very well groomed. Just so that nothing gets stuck in their fur.
Oh.
All right, Nealay, where are you at? I want to make sure folks are able to follow along with this cool technique.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want like a long bar versus a short bar, because I've done a long bar before for another style of necklace where I've had a color block. So what that means is that I've attached a different colored silver silk at the top.
Ooh.
And then at the bottom, because silver silk is super drapey, you can actually like attach more on the bottom. Oh, you can't really see, so let me move this up a little bit. You can attach like strands at the bottom to kind of make it drape into a different color if you want to.
Okay, see what I'm saying of Nealay playing with like shape as the focal piece of your design? I think I'm starting to understand your design more and more, because
I love that.
it's all geometry.
Yeah.
And it works so well.
I think geometry is definitely a key word. I think I'm gonna shorten this, in fact, to my design aesthetic. Were you guys ever fans of Project Runway?
Yes! Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I scared the cat. He's very upset now.
You were so lucky. I have nothing to crawl on me like that.
I went to college up here for a year before I moved back up here, and they actually offered me a job at Mood. Because I used to work at but I was leaving, so I couldn't take it.
Dang.
I worked at a fabric store in high school, and I was telling the guy at Mood that just conversationally, and he was like, "Do you want a job?"
I've had some friends that actually
wish.
went to shop at Moods, and it's just like a treasure trove of fabric.
It's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of fabric. I mean, the whole fabric fashion district is great, just in general. I love fabric shopping.
Me too. I've made some. So my friend traveled to Japan. He does this yearly trip whenever he taught high school students, and he'd go to Japan. And so this very last trip that he went on, he finally asked me, "Do you want me to bring you back anything?" And I was like, "Yes, I want some fabric. I want some Japanese fabric that you bought in Japan." And he finally did bring me back some. I thought he was just making like one of those like fake haha, like I'll bring you back something, and then he never does. But he actually brought me back some fabric. So I was like, oh, I have to do something.
That's so sweet.
It was very sweet, and I made them into throw pillows actually that are in my living room.
Anytime I ever ask somebody
to my sewing abilities.
Anytime I ever ask anyone to bring me beads, they always bring me very strange things. My mom went to New Orleans when I was in college, and I asked her for beads, thinking that, like, I make jewelry. She'll go to a bead shop and buy me beads. And I got a box from her like a month later, and I pull out the tackiest, most humongous Mardi Gras beads I've ever seen in my life. And I'm looking at them, and I'm like, why would she send this to me? And it took me probably another 3 months before I realized I asked her for beads. And that's what she decided to send me.
Nealay, what was the base gauge you used for the olive serpentine?
20 gauge wire. And you can use, so if I had to just throw out some brands out there, the two prevalent ones that come to mind are Softflex wire, which is ultra soft, or Artistic wire, which is half hard. So for a T-bar, I would suggest using more of that half hard wire because you want it to have some structure and stability. However, if you're wanting to do the embellishment, which is what I'm going to do now over the beads, then you would definitely want to use softer wire.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing, I made a wire wrap loop on each end, as you can see there. I made sure that my loops are facing the same direction. And what I'm going to do now is just take some 26 gauge wire, and I'm going to wrap it around the base part of that wire wrap loop there first. And I'm just going to purposely cover and use my thumb to kind of guide the wire around each bead. And we're going to do this 3 times back and forth, but where you can get crazy is where you start to create those shapes with the wire. So now I've assumed that this is my front, right? Because I've just wrapped the top side of it. So I can kind of, wrap this a couple times and then go back around this way. But I can start to manipulate by putting my thumb right over the wire and then wrapping it around. And that's what gets me my fun shapes there.
Ooh, nice.
I love that.
This is like abstract painting with wire.
Yeah, it really is. You can just make any organic shape. And to me, it's also a foolproof type of technique because it really is hard to mess this up, I think. As long as you don't put any kinks in the wire, I think that's probably where the shaping would get a little bit dicey. But otherwise, like, you can, just kind of create these organic, beautiful, flowy shapes that you want to. And then the backside is clean still, yeah. And you can see that my thumb is pretty, like, gross now because of the wire. You can clean it with some alcohol, and you can get this wire on any art supply store because, again, it's just dark steel annealed wire. Or you could just use any craft wire that's 26 gauge. Gold would look beautiful in this too, or even copper, as since I'm using that color down here. But once I've done my wrapping, and because I have my loops that are face front here, it's not going to switch, sides or anything, so I can have this face up as I wear it. And so the only thing that I really need to do is connect it to gem rings. Ooh, I need to trim this side.
Do you often color mix, or like do mixed metals in your designs, Nealay?
Oh, all the time, all the time. I don't think that I've ever. Well, I take that back. There are a few times that I stick with metals that are the same color, like golds or. Well, that's really the only one that I can think of recently that I've done. But I love mixing metals. I really do.
Because even here, using like some of the darker tone, even the findings on the SilverSilk, using a darker tone. You're choosing not to use your bright copper tone findings on the SilverSilk capture chain.
And it's a good reason that you brought that out, because the design is so minimalist that we have only certain opportunities to draw out new textures and new colors.
Right.
So I think the findings and the wire that I'm using, and even like the chain and stuff, it kind of falls into the same color realm here because the dark gunmetal color is picked up from the ball chain. So it's not foreign to the design that I'm creating. It's just I'm just drawing out a different color from it. So at least that's the way that my brain has worked up to this point. So I feel like by adding these little nuances, it kind of enhances the design a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to add some bindings back here, but otherwise I'm just gonna cover it up here. So when I cut the chain, I just get a little bit of these wire sticky outy things that I'm gonna trim away. pluck away, actually.
I'm trying to think of what this reminds me of, because it really does remind me of something, and I haven't placed it yet. I've just taken this last little.
The design?
No, when Nealay takes his little extra pieces of wire out of the chain. I think it
I'm
reminds me
curious
of
to know what that
some sort of
is.
cooking. It's gonna come to me at like 2 a.m. Be like, oh yeah.
Cooking.
It's almost like removing like eggshells out of like a dish or something.
Mm-hmm.
You put eggshells in your food, Sam?
Oh yeah, every day. Extra calcium, Rachel. Vicky says, I bet he does another no-clasp necklace. Do you have a reputation, Nealay?
Okay, so I have 2 reputations. Shall we cover them?
Oh, sure.
My first is I love a good no clasp necklace because it falls into my second thing, which is I never have a clasp on hand. It's weird because I never really do. I don't know why. Oh, this one, by the way, I did use tone on tone. I used, except for maybe the wire wrapping, but I used the bright copper with the capture chain there. So you can kind of see what the difference looks like. If you had to really compare it.
Ooh.
But yeah, those are the 2 things, is that I never really am prepared with a clasp on hand. And then whenever I don't, I just make it up. But it's one less thing that people have to worry about or purchase whenever they're constructing. That's all I got.
And I just have to say that there's something to be said for, necklaces that don't have a clasp, because there are a lot of people out there that I know a lot of people with like limited arm movement. It's very helpful to not have to do a clasp. So really, you're doing a service.
I hope so. And if anything else, it presents more opportunities to not. The findings, I will say, in my store are not cheap. They're the reason that they're manufactured, the price point that they are. There's a lot involved behind it, but I am purposely out here presenting other ideas of like, hey, you don't want to get the findings? That's okay. Let me give you another design option, and then they can construct a different way to not have to worry about acquiring those findings, but also that design then can translate into another design that they're making, and maybe they can use leather, or maybe they can use something else, other beads or something that they wouldn't have to necessarily need a clasp for. So again, it's just pushing that fashion sense a little bit more forward, I guess.
Alrighty.
For the person that wants to throw something on and be out the door and not have to worry about having a, roommate, significant other, friend to help clasp something.
To have to help, yeah. So it's currently 15 after. So do you want to? Maybe we'll get to see the final product of this piece, and then I think we are probably going to sign off soon.
I finished mine just about too.
Should we do a Rachel check-in?
Oh, okay, sure. It's not completely done because I like to add little dangles to the end, but here is the bracelet.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So
sapphire, opal, and SilverSilk.
Yes. So it's got a little lobster clasp and an extender chain. And what I like to do to all of my things that I add extender chains to is I like to take a ball head pin and put my beads on that I've used in the design and wrap them and loop them onto the last bit of the chain, because I just think it makes the design look so much more finished.
Like charm accent almost.
Yeah.
It's lovely,
beautiful.
Rachel.
Thank you.
I feel like we don't even get to experience the full color of that SilverSilk.
No,
unless I was seeing it
stunning.
in person.
Well, your lighting is way better than mine right now.
I have I swear my light bill is because of the classes. Like our light bill. I'm going to turn everything off once we're done.
Sam, you can pan over to my my front shot, and then I can show you like what I'm thinking. See, I think that this would like be a fun thing to wear.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
Nealay,
that.
I love it. I just
That
love
would
it.
be
I love
really
both
cute,
of these pieces.
Backed with other necklaces too. Ooh, it could be
But
cute.
yeah,
Put the other one on too.
You
could
can
wear both of
layer.
them.
Let's see, where did I put my other one? Like you could layer these together and just
Oh
like
my goodness.
be out the door. I need a class for this one though, Vicky. It's actually another friend who was it. Let's see, it's Emily from Motorcrafts. That's always getting on to me about my no clasps. Actually, she doesn't. I just, because she always brings it up. It's kind of funny to me, you know. But I love it when she does. She calls me. She lets me know, and then I'm like,
I don't think I knew that her name was Emily.
Her name is Emily, yeah.
Because on Facebook it just says Motorcraft, and I see, and she's on my streams, and I'm like,
she
hey, Motorcraft.
joined me for my workshop last year, so I got to put a face to the name too. So it was quite special.
Oh my goodness, you got to meet the Motorcraft.
Yeah, we had a meet the students event.
Oh,
because I always get to see like me, but I never get to see them. So.
Well, wait. Oh, not me doing the wrong thing. Hold on. There we go. Well, Nealay, thank you so much for showing us SilverSilk. It's so cool to see it in action, and like it's somehow I had in my head that it was like going to be very complicated to like attach, and like it's essentially it's structured that it's a crimpable item, so it's therefore very accessible. So I think it's really cool, and so thank you for sharing all of this creative juju with us today.
I am delighted that I get to spend some time with you guys and get to like talk about SilverSilk and just like, you know, hang out with you and drink some wine and wear a cowboy hat and like my Halloween is made. I cannot top this.
Nealay was saying this is the closest he's going to get to a Halloween party this year.
It's true. I feel like when you get to a certain point, and I don't know, I've had like, you know, a crazy work week. I just want to like relax this weekend and not have to put myself on for stuff. So I'm like, just going to relax and like, this is my party, you know?
Yeah. I think I'm doing a Halloween dinner.
Party.
Ooh.
What, Rachel?
I was going to say, it's my party and I'll bead if I want to.
I agree. So you're going to is it a mystery dinner or anything, or is it just?
No,
like...
I'm cooking the dinner. So I'm not organizing the evening. I haven't invited anyone yet, but other people are inviting people. Kept it simple. I'm making butternut squash soup and some sort of little salad and like a dessert, and that's all I'm doing.
Sounds very healthy. I like that.
And I'm not cooking anything more because it's not happening. They can eat their soup.
Pumpkins with my friend tomorrow. That's I think the only activity that I have.
Well, there's something.
I know, but it'll be with wine. So you know, for me, it's just decompression and like I haven't carved a pumpkin in 10 years. So
will you show us your final jack-o'-lantern, please?
It'll probably be covered in SilverSilk because I'm like too embarrassed to show.
It better have earrings. That better have earrings.
Yes, that's a good idea. Such a good idea.
Alrighty, we're gonna hop off. Thank you, Nealay. Rachel, I'm so glad you're able to join us.
Me too. Thanks for showing us how to use SilverSilk, Nealay. I'm very excited. I actually used some. I didn't just hoard it.
Don't hoard it. Everyone that buys SilverSilk does that, and I want you to be the one that uses. I want you to be one of the ones that uses it.
Well, we might have to start mixing it into some of our class projects at the shop because this stuff is so cool. So we're gonna sign off. Everyone have a lovely Halloween weekend. Go be spooky.
Yes, or not spooky.
Or not spooky. Whatever. All right. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy